G'day everyone, Eric here. Sorry for my long absence, I got very sick, then I relapsed. So yeah, August was fun, I'm still not 100%, bear with me today. But I'm back with a video I think is going to be really engaging. I'm responding to your Transformers hot takes. I've narrowed it down to 9, sourced from the community tab, TCCA, which is the Transformers Collective Community Australia, and my own personal Discord. Then to top it off at the end, I'll give you one of my own to discuss in the comments. Hopefully there's some really spicy hot takes here. So let's get started. The first one comes from my community tab. Transformers Prime is bad. Oh yes, do I agree, that ain't a hot take with me. That's over with me, brother. I have always hated Transformers Prime. Tried it 3 times recently because I thought it might make content on the channel. I can't suffer it. Back when it came out, it constituted as torture and sometime in the middle. I have never gotten on with Prime. I think it is a boring show that is unengaging, unappealing, and just there's nothing to really draw me in, nothing to capture me. Of the 3 hub shows, it makes me sad that this one continued, and G.I. Joe Renegades, which was a way better show, it got discontinued after 1 season. That was a phenomenal show. Transformers Prime is the bits. I would put it down there with Revenge of the Fallen and the Netflix series for Power of the Primes. It's really that bad to me. It's boring. It's got nothing going for it. And being boring is one of the worst things you can do because there's nothing to discuss. There's nothing to talk about. It's just, I don't want to engage with this. I don't want to experience this. I'd rather do anything else. I've had the toys, not the premiere ones, the second one since they came out. I've really got to find them in my tubs to get rid of them because I want to clear out the collection for stuff I'd rather actually own because I like it, not because it's Transformers. Gotta buy everything that has Transformers on it. And yeah, that's one of the first things I think can go. I like pretty much every single Transformers series up to and including animated. Prime was the first time I really hated something that was Transformers and I just stopped engaging. If Generations wasn't there, I probably would have just quit the brand right there and then. I've never understood why people liked it so much. It just simply escapes me. It's not a matter of different strokes for different folks. It's a matter of, this is horrible. I don't get what you see now. I guess a lot of people would say that about Beast Machines because I genuinely like Beast Machines. I think it has a lot to offer. And I think it's way better than Prime. Especially as a show, it's very engaging. I know a lot of people have very mixed opinions on Perspective End, because he's seen a bit of contrarian. But the thing is, regarding Transformers Prime, it kind of made me happy to see I wasn't alone in disliking this series when he came out with that video saying, no, it's crap. And mate, you're leaving this on the community tab saying the same? I'm glad people are seeing it. I really am. So let's continue with number 2, also from the community tab. Age of Extinction is good. I don't know if I'd say good, but I'll agree that it's entertaining. See, especially as the movies have gone on, I've lost interest in them. I stopped buying studio series quite some time ago. I skipped a lot of Revenge of the Fallen and Dark of the Moon because I never saw those 2 films at the cinema. Never actually saw Revenge of the Fallen properly till recently because Devastator's testicles, I just noped out. I couldn't anymore. In a lot of ways, I think the first film has aged terribly. The second movie is shit. It is probably the worst thing the franchise has ever had. The Dark of the Moon is a return to form, kinda. It's getting things on the right track. I think Marky Mark is a way more likable lead character than Shia LaBeouf. I don't think Shia is likable at all. I have never been on with Shia LaBeouf. And I think that's a big part of why a lot of the community want more of the Transformers, don't care about the humans, because, again, Shia isn't likable, and Megan Fox wasn't really a character, and John Titilio, I forget his name, the Sector 7 agent, he's really freaking annoying. He really is. It's an annoying character. There's everything wrong with those first 2 films. He's one of them. Age of Extinction, and to a lesser degree, I guess The Last Night, I found them engaging. I like the new roster for the films with Crosshairs and Hound. And Drift. I thought they were fun characters, especially Crosshairs and Hound. And I like having a more, this is the movie cast. This is the core characters for the Transformers films. I know the movies do a really bad job with the Decepticons, but I'm going to be honest, for what Transformers is trying to do at the cinema, those Michael Bay movies, I think we can all agree that the Bumblebee movie is the best of the live-action films, right? I think we can all agree there. Then I'd put the two Marky Mark ones. As far as Revenge of the Beast goes, it's just kind of nothing and boring. I was watching my clock the entire way through. It's just kind of there and never really capitalizes on the Beast Wars stuff. The Beast Wars stuff just feels kind of, remember this? You want beasties, right? And as I said, I don't like the first three very much. Yeah, I'll agree. I don't think Age of Extinction is a bad movie. A good, that's personal taste. But I can enjoy, at least, both Age of Extinction and The Last Night. So our next one is from Facebook. That would be Frenzy is red, Rumble is blue, it doesn't matter. Meaning that it doesn't matter which one is which color. And you know what? I agree here too. I think that's actually a very reasonable take for one simple reason. Frenzy really isn't a character. Rumble is a bit better, but history hasn't been kind to him. When was the last time Rumble was really used in a series? And I don't mean, here is Rumble, he makes things pile drive. That is it. I mean actually personality, engaging with other characters, driving story, doing things that are memorable. Because at least G1 Rumble had at least more going for him than Thundercracker and Skywarp. The thing is, over time, with Soundwave, Laserbeak and Ravage, I think because they're animals and it's got more of a theme to it, it became the go-to cassettes. I know this is kind of a cop-out answer in a way, I guess, that it doesn't really matter because they're not really characters. So, the next one, again from Facebook, because I've got 3 from Facebook, I think is going to be pretty spicy. Because, oh boy, do I have some thoughts on this one. Megatron killed Prime. So, this one is referencing that Gen X theme that I've dubbed Hot Rod blaming. This will come up in a later video, where Hot Rod is attributed with Prime's death. The thing is, regarding both the hot take and the Hot Rod blaming, are we watching the same movie here? I really don't know how everyone gets this wrong. Hot Rod didn't kill Prime, and honestly, neither did Megatron. Optimus Prime killed Optimus Prime. Megatron is inching up on Optimus as he begs, steadily getting to that gun. Optimus Prime never once fires a warning shot to keep Megatron in his place at a distance where it can be fully seen so Megatron doesn't pull any funny business. By the time Hot Rod is involved, Prime's fate was already sealed. He didn't keep Megatron away from him and in a position that he can see. Megatron's been inching up. Megatron was going to get that gun because Prime's stupid and Prime was going to die regardless. Sorry 80s kids, Prime's an idiot. Watch the film properly. Actually pay attention to the entire scene. Prime killed Prime. Yeah, how's that for a hot take? You got a hot take through a hot take. Hot takeception. So let's go to the last Facebook one. Grimlock should have taken the Matrix instead of Hot Rod. This is actually a really interesting one, as it has to presume that Grimlock retains his original personality instead of what he became in the film. Basically a dog, Scooby-Doo kind of thing. I don't hate this actually. I'm not sure how it would have worked in G1 because the whole point of the film was to sell new toys. Never forget that when we're talking about narratives for toy brands, the goal is always to sell something. I just don't think this works outside of a beast-themed toy line. The Dinosaur Alt Mode doesn't really work of a faction later position outside of a specific story where you're talking about beasts. I actually think there is space in the franchise for a really thematic Dinobot versus Viacon storyline where it's just an entire toy line. I think that could have really worked. If you went back to Beast Wars, I think you could have done Dinobots versus Predacons theme for Beast Wars instead of the beautiful series it was. But as for G1, I understand why you go with that because Grimlock's such a popular character and he's got a high position and he's a faction leader, but I just don't think it'd work. See, if you're going to do Grimlock as the leader, he'd need a new toy. At that point, why not just update Optimus with a new toy? And that's something I'll be talking about later on in a different video. But yeah, it's an interesting hot take, but I think that it'll work better as its own series. So next up, we move to one from my Discord, more attractive Transformers. There should be more attractive female-looking Transformers. The first thing I thought about was that third-party RC with the silicone squishy chest. Nicey, I think it's pronounced Nisi? I'm not sure. I've never really understood this. I'm not a robosexual. I am not attracted to female Transformers. It just doesn't do it for me. I've never thought, gee whiz, I want to do it with that spider lady. Because that's weird. Sorry, robosexuals, you're weird. But RC is clearly designed as an attractive female character. It works. It's okay. Black Arachnia, as you may know, she's based on a stripper. I think it works for the character. See, the more I go into this is designing characters for the sake of more eye candy, all well and good, whatever, don't really care. I want to know why are we making this character and what they actually add to the series. And where I go with that is, I want to see Thunderblast come back. I don't think she ever would. I don't think Hasbro would have the balls of steel to bring her back in current day and age. But I'd love to see her back. That's why I used her for the announcement there's a video coming up, because I knew I was going to bring her up. But that idea of that Megatron groupie filling a similar position to Lugnut, I'd actually like to see her interact with Lugnut. There's a lot of characters don't get used a lot, and don't get used enough. She's one of them. If you wanted that female attractive Transformer, delve into what we actually have. I don't think we need more of it per se. I think we need more character diversity, and she's one. I'd love to see her used over Arachnid again. I don't know why we're returning to that. Again, I'm going back to my Prime slander. Crap figure from a crap show and it's returning. Great. But Thunderblast at least offers something different, something interesting, and should bounce off and play with Lugnut, which is another character I'd love to see come back very well. I'd love to see. So, more attractive Transformers? Yeah, but make it Thunderblast. So we're sticking with the Discord, and number 7 is, the only Ultra Magnus to work is God Magnus. Again, I agree. Hot takes, what are those? I actually have a video coming up discussing G1 Ultra Magnus, so I don't want to give too much away. If we're just discussing G1 and car robots, absolutely. God Magnus fits the anti-hero archetype and just offers something unique in terms of character dynamics, especially in combination with Optimus Prime. And I think it's something really different and interesting and could build off and can have other characters based upon him. G1 Ultra Magnus, on the other hand, doesn't actually have much to offer. In the movie, he's basically Rodimus Prime. Has anyone actually noticed that the storyline for Ultra Magnus is essentially repeated with Rodimus Prime? And then when you get to Season 3 with Ultra Magnus, it's nearly the same character as Cup. They fill in a very similar character dynamic. I don't actually understand why it's there. Ultra Magnus, for those who don't know, was never intended to stick around. He was meant to die in the original scripts. I kind of feel it, and I feel that a lot of Season 3 was based on him as a character and fleshed out, and then they had to retroactively bring him back, and I don't think it works as a character. I don't get why anyone would be fond of him, to be honest. Cup's way more entertaining, has way more to offer. Now, if we're going to Transformers Animated, and the higher up Ultra Magnus, where he's a faction leader, wise, old, the kingly archetype, I think that works. But it's a very, very different character to both G1 and Robots in Disguise. I think that's actually something with Ultra Magnus, though, that he's a very fluid character that has no defined personality, really. At least not in moving media, we'll call it that, because I don't care about the Transformers comic books all that much. I'll agree to the point that God Magnus has way more to offer than G1. When you start comparing him to animated, I'm going to disagree that God Magnus is the only one to work. Fun thing that hit me recently, God Magnus probably gets his name from God Bomber. They're both combiners with an Autobot leader, both Optimus Prime variants. It just seems like that's the inspiration for the name. So for number 8, I'm merging a couple of things together because they feel like they're connected, they're variants, etc. And that is, I like Rodimus Prime and wish he was explored more, / Season 3 is my favourite. This one I got multiple times over, especially Season 3, and I again consider the Rodimus thing variants on it. So I put them together. Again, not a hot take to me. I agree. Season 3 has always been my favourite season. I didn't really watch that much of G2 as a kid. I saw Starscream's Brigade / Rodimus episode. I saw a little bit of the movie, and I had more than meets the eye on tape. I fell in love with Transformers with Beast Wars. I loved the toys of Transformers when I was little, but most of the toys I had didn't appear in the show. So it was like the Turbo Masters, the Predators, those type of characters. The Accelerators and Sky Scorchers. They're what's nostalgic to me for early Transformers. It wasn't until Beast Wars till I had the cartoons and the toys and just everything put together. So I found Transformers much later in life, in my teen years, I should say. I found G1, and I fell in love with Season 3's characters. Season 1 and 2, there's a lot of good episodes, especially in Season 2, but they're never really appealing in the same way. So I'll just tell you right here, of the Sunbow cartoons, I think G.I. Joe destroys Transformers 8 Ways from Sunday. I think G.I. Joe is a much better written, much more engaging cartoon. And if you actually go into the interviews with the people behind both cartoons, they'll tell you that Transformers was written for a much younger audience. It was seen as the kiddie show of the two. The G.I. Joe audience could take a little bit more in terms of maturity. And I think Season 3, because this show had been around for 3 years at that point, I think they'd assumed that the audience was aging up, they could take a bit more. Evidently they couldn't. We all remember the crying over Optimus Prime. I think by Season 3, there's a lot more maturity in Transformers writing, and I think it's a lot more engaging. The episode Web World, I think that's what it's called. The one with Galvatron and Cyclonus as the central plot. Galvatron's in the psych ward, essentially. That is a fantastic episode. It's actually really serious subject matter in the end of it. Call of the Primitives is a fabulously entertaining episode. Five Faces of Darkness is really interesting, intriguing, and builds a lot of lore. Again, there's some great episodes in Season 2. Like, I love Autobot and making Trax, because Trax is one of my favourite characters from pre-movie Transformers. But I enjoy the more condensed cast of Season 3. I actually like the Dinobots being turned into more of a dog position. I think I get why they're appealing in when they first appear, but I think they've got more entertainment value as a dog. I've never understood why people hated Wheelie so much, or Daniel. I think they're entertaining. But then again, from what I've seen of Thundercats, which I also think is horribly boring, I don't mind Snarf all that much. I like Orko. I don't get why so many people hate the Kid Appeal characters. It's not like everyone is freaking Night Scream here. But yeah, as far as Rodimus Prime goes, the thing about Rodimus is he's in a lot of ways relatable, especially as you're growing up, which is why it leads me to believe that Season 3 was written for an older audience. It's that taking on adulthood, I guess it is, going from those teenagers, taking on responsibilities, becoming an adult, and how hard that is. Again, the hardest burden to bear. I just think Rodimus is, again, relatable. Maybe that's because I watched it as a teenager and I saw that in it. That's what I took away. But yeah, I wonder how much of the hate Season 3 gets amongst a lot of fan bases. The fan base refusing to grow up and grow up, or let the show grow up with them. Oh, that might be a hot take in itself. But yeah, there's some classic episodes in Season 1 and 2. All the multi-parters that include the combiners. There's a few off here and there I really like, but I think Season 3 is better written, more engaging, and I think the characters have more to offer, and I just like it more. Last one for the Discord, and this is our last one from the community. Optimus Prime should be a fire truck. Oof. Given how many people think, no, it has to be a flat-nosed truck or nothing. I take a very Arturian position on this. By that I mean I agree with Aaron Archer that you take the core defining traits and build something new. For Prime, he's a truck with a predominantly red deco. What type of truck only matters so much as it feels in line with the personality and the character. Cybertron and Robots in Disguise Optimus Prime are some of the greatest Optimus Prime toys of all time. I love both of them. I didn't buy either of the upgrades from Generations because I think those original toys are still a magnitude of times better. Maybe I'll regret the Robots in Disguise one later on. I don't know. But they're fantastic toys. And they've honestly got more play value. They're better looking. And they're just out and out more appealing than pretty much any standardized Optimus Prime. And I've talked before about how I love Oil Tanker Optimus Prime. I don't think that I like to box him in completely. I don't like, Optimus Prime has to be a fire truck. But I think it's something that should be explored more. Again, with the G2 form, I think it's something that should be explored more. But because that limits our creativity and growth and you get stuck in a rut as we are now. But I just want to add to this point, because I think this is important. I don't think Inferno or Movie Sentinel are such core characters that Prime being a fire truck would step on either of those characters' toes. Inferno is such a nothing character that his absence would never really be noticed. Please tell me the last time Inferno was used, I believe it was Energon. And it wasn't used next show because Prime's a fire truck now, boy. Don't need him. As far as Movie Sentinel goes, has Movie Sentinel as a design ever transcended the film? I don't think so, because animated, I think that predates it, but it uses that snowplow design. And the upcoming Transformers 1 Sentinel Prime is some type of fantasy Blackbird with Dirge's color scheme, which is also animated Sentinel Prime color scheme. Movie Sentinel is irrelevant as a design. It's not used outside of that film. Inferno is a nothing character. Prime can be a fire truck. It really doesn't matter. And I'd argue that better toys have been made for Fire Truck Prime than there have ever been flat-faced Optimus Primes. Yeah, so should be a fire truck? I'm not sure I agree. But can be a fire truck every now and again? Oh yeah, I agree with that. And he shouldn't be a flat-nosed truck all the damn time. And G2 should make a comeback. So we finish up with number 10. That is my personal hot take. And I don't know how spicy this one's going to be, because these toy lines are, well, two of them are hated, one of them seems to be contentious. But I loved all three. And that was, I loved Prime Wars. I loved Combiner Wars, I loved Power of the Primes, and I loved Titans Returns. Not in that order, but I loved all three of them. I could harp on about the current state of Transformers as a toy line. I think there's a lot to say there, but I'm not going to. I want to talk about Prime Wars. Prime Wars was pretty much the first time since Classics that I thought Chug was genuinely fun. There's some great toys in Universe 2.0, early generations, since we've switched over to Siege. There's some great toys, but the Prime Wars, they were fun. They were engaging. I love the play patterns. See, something you have to understand with me is, despite G1.5 and G2 being my earliest Transformers memories, despite Beast Wars being what got me to love this franchise, I would genuinely argue the time when I had the most memories and the most fun collecting this franchise was Armada through Cybertron. I still will stand up for those toy lines to this day. And I think a lot of what they do with play patterns and line-wide play patterns, for that matter, is still a lot of fun. No, I don't care about whatever issues they have from their day about, articulation, whatnot. That's not what I prioritize in terms of enjoyment of toys. I prefer toys being toys, for lack of a better term. I like play patterns, I like action features, I like that fun. And I like the things where the toys can engage and engage beyond that rudimentary, what does it do? We've gotten so much into just representations, I miss that. And as far as Power of the Primes, Titans Returns, and Combiner Wars go, I thought the combiners were fun to collect. I thought it was fun getting them out of the packages, transforming them into different modes, transforming them with the combiners, getting the teams together, seeing how they zhuzhed up the teams for current day. This might be a hot take too. I didn't mind the characters they changed. I actually don't think I ever got around to buying the original team members that they produced later as 7th, because they did the whole 6th member as a core class. What did we call core class back then? Legend class? I think that was it. I never minded that because I thought modernizing them, what classics was fun, and I thought the play pattern was fun. Yeah, they're not stable. I still have G2 Bruticus as a kid. I had parts of Superion as a kid, G2 Superion. I've played with Defensor before, because I got a fake one. I love that Scramble City Combiner pattern. I skipped the recent Menasor because for all the flaws of the Combiner Wars toy, I still think the Combiner Wars toy offered more play value. And that's what I liked. I'll never understand why people engage with Transformers and just go, I'll transform the ones, then I'll put them on the shelves. I like to just pick up a Transformer and transform it, have fun with it. You can't do that with a lot of modern Transformers. They're a bit too involved for that. There's too much going on. They feel more fragile, and that's despite the plastics of the Prime Wars being iffy. I really loved the Headmasters gimmick of Titans Returns. I never thought about the Headmasters from G1. I've seen the anime at some point. I thought the intro was fantastic, but the show was and I didn't really care about the play pattern. I had Omega Supreme still have Omega Supreme from Transformers Energon. Never thought about the Headmaster play pattern there, never thought about it much with Sideways, but the way Titans Returns brought it back and how we had the seats for the Headmasters, I just thought the whole evolution of the Diaclone, which is what I think Headmasters really is super engaging and fun. I'm still trying to go back and finish up my collection. I've still got to get 8-Face, still got to get 6-Shot. I'm not aiming for a complete collection here, but I'd like to get as much of the 1987 ones. I got all the reissues they did recently with using the Takaratomi molds and the original G1 heads. I think toy heads it was. But yeah, I really love that toy one. Then we get to Power of the Primes. The Combiners come back. I really liked the Dinobots released there. I still think they're perfectly fine Dinobots. That's why I haven't bought the modern ones. I'm waiting for them in G2 colors, the later class ones. I didn't pick up Abominus because I had trouble finding all the pieces. I never found them in a way where I believed I'd be able to get them all. Regret that now. When Hasbro does Abominus again, probably going to buy someone's old set. But I just really like what was going on. And then we get to the later class toys. Say what you will about those later class toys in Power of the Primes. I regret not buying Optimus Primal now. Optimal Optimus. I have both colors of Optimus and Rodimus though. Those are really engaging, fun toys with a great play pattern that brings the trailer in. I regret not buying Star Convoy as well. Fantastic play pattern. A lot of fun. Really liked it. Yeah, just lots to offer. I get why someone wouldn't like it because of the plastic quality, but it's not that bad in the grand scheme of things. Flexes a little bit, but it's not too bad. But everything they did to modernize things, everything they did with play patterns, it's fun, it's engaging, it's new, it's interesting. Even when they went back to characters that weren't Headmasters, that weren't Combiners, and redecorated other toys or made new toys for them, whatever, I thought that was interesting. This is probably going to be the biggest part of this that's a hot take. Combiner Wars Ironhide, I think that's better than G1. I like him being a Utes. I'd love to see that design redone as a normal toy without the Combiner gimmick. But I really like going back to Masquerade and making that into a toy, which is essentially what that Optimus Prime combiner really was. When you get down to it, it takes the concept of Masquerade and goes full with it, and it works. I liked it. Yes, there's some things changed for redecos. Yes, there's a lot of retools, but I don't really care. I thought it was the entire 3 lines were a blast to collect, and I'm still trying to collect them to this day. I had personal issues where I couldn't buy everything I wanted, or distribution issues, but yeah, I just love those toy lines. Hell, I'm going to a collector fair later this month, which I'll be talking about, and I'll be making a video on, and guess what I'm looking for? Prime Wars toys. I'm hoping to find 6 Shop. The only thing from Siege I'm really regretting not getting is another throwback to Prime Wars, and that's Ape Face. So yeah, hot take. I really liked the Prime Wars trilogy. Most fun I've had with Transformers since animated. Most fun I've had with Chug since classics. And I love it way more than what we have today. So that's it for today. I'm curious to read the comments on this one. Bound to be some things that really get some people's goat, but I could imagine a fair few being things that people just agree with or would like to see explored in Transformers media. If you like this video and want to see more hot takes videos, leave some of your own hot takes in the comments. I'll be more than happy to do further hot takes videos if this one does well. Or if you want to see the concept expanded to different brands like Masters of the Universe, G.I. Joe, WWE, Marvel, or whatever, leave those too. We can just make a general toy hot take video. I'll keep a record of everything, and when we have enough, I'll make it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, it helps out a lot. Till next time friends, this has been Eric from Toys Down Under, and thanks for watching.